Hello everyone, welcome to session 16 of Theory of Computation or Formal Languages and Automata Theory. In today's session, we are going to discuss about how to convert regular grammar into finite automata and vice versa. We'll also discuss how to construct the regular expression from the given regular grammar. So these are the concepts which we discuss in this session. So let us have a look on the definition of regular grammar. So we already discussed this regular grammar definition in the previous session when we discussed the concept of Chomsky hierarchy. So a grammar is said to be a regular if it is either left linear or right linear. A grammar is regular if all the productions are in the form like A denotes XB or A denotes BX, right? So by seeing this form, you could identify which type of production rule it is. So A denotes XB, small x means it is a terminal and followed by a capital B. So here if you consider this production, A denotes small xb. In this, A is a variable, small x is a terminal and capital B is a variable, right? So this, if the production is written in this form, then it is called as right linear production. Okay. Next, a grammar is said to be a regular if all the productions are in this form. A denotes xb or A denotes bx. Okay. So here you could see in A denotes bx, we are having B in the leftmost position in the right hand side of production rule. Okay. So if the productions rules are written like this, then the regular grammar is said to be a left linear. Okay, so the production rules either follow this left linear property or right linear property. Okay, along with it, a production may be in this form. A denotes a small a, that means a non-terminal is denoting a terminal, or A denotes epsilon. Okay, so the productions, if the productions are satisfying these properties, then the grammar is said to be a regular grammar. Okay, so here where A B belongs to capital V, that means A and B are the variables. Small x belongs to T star. X belongs to T star means x may be a terminal. Okay, so x is a terminal. So it could be either epsilon or any terminals. Okay, and comma A belongs to T. Okay, where small a belongs to T. So A is a terminal. Okay, so anyways, in a production rule, in the right hand side, you must have only one non-terminal or variable in the right hand side of the production, and that may occur either in the leftmost position or in rightmost position in the RHS, right? So apart from that, it may have the production like a non-terminal denoting any number of terminals or one terminal or even epsilon, right? So all those are considered to be a part of regular grammar. Okay, so next, regular grammar generates a language called regular language, right? And the automata which accepts it like regular language is finite automata. Okay, now, so here in this, to construct the regular grammar, that means to convert the regular grammar into finite automata, here we are considering only the right linear grammar, right? So remember one point here, only right linear grammar can be converted into the corresponding finite automata, right? So that is the first property uh, in the conversion of regular grammar to the finite automata. So here only the right linear grammar can be converted into finite automata by considering the production rules. Okay, so let us discuss this concept in detail with an algorithm. So let us see the algorithm for constructing finite automata from the given regular grammar, right? So here just try to understand the 6 points here. So first thing, for a regular grammar which is right linear, we can construct a finite automaton from the production rules. So a grammar, consider that we are having a grammar, regular grammar G. For this particular regular grammar, we can construct the finite automaton, right? By applying, by considering the production rules in the grammar, right? So finite automata here we are calling it as M. Okay, so here if we consider that L of G will be equal to L of M, right? So here, what is this L of G? L of G is nothing but the language described by the grammar or the language defined by the grammar. So the language defined by the grammar can also be accepted by the finite automata. So that's the reason why we are writing L of G is equal to L of 1, L of M. So L of G is nothing but language of the grammar, and L of M is nothing but language of finite automata, right? So step number one is that whenever you are given with a regular grammar, the first step what you have to do is that start symbol of the grammar G will be considered as start state of finite automata. So first identify the start symbol in the regular grammar and consider that particular start symbol as a starting state of your automata. That is the step number one or point number one, right? So if your grammar is having the start symbol as yes like this, yes denotes A. So let me say that this is the first production rule, right? So in the first production rule, whatever may be the leftmost symbol which is present in the production rule in the left hand side, that is considered as a start symbol, right? So in the first production rule, whatever the symbol which is present in the left hand side of the production rule is considered as start symbol, right? So once you identify the start symbol, consider or mark it as a starting state in the finite automata. So yes will be your starting state in your finite automata. Okay, so this is the rule 1 or point number 1. Okay, so mark that start symbol as a start state in your finite automata. Next, second point, for each vi, that means for each variable of grammar G, for each variable of grammar G corresponds to a state in M, right? So based upon the number of non-terminals or variables in your grammar, that many number of states are going to be considered in the finite automata, right? So depending upon the number of variables which are present in your grammar, those many number of states will be present in your finite automata, right? So for each vi, that means for each variable will be considered as a one state in the finite automata. That is the meaning, right? So in short we can say that each state each variable in a grammar will be considered as one state in a finite automata, right? Next thing, for each production of the form, Vi denotes small a1, small a2, so on up to small am, Vj. So if consider that you are having the production in this form where Vi and one variable is denoting sequence of terminals a1, a2, so on am, followed by a non-terminal Vj. If we encounter such type of production rule, then how do we construct the finite automata? How do we construct the states and productions, right? So just try to understand. So first take the Vi and consider as a state. So mark Vi as a state, and next for each terminal symbol specify the production towards the intermediate state, right? So here Vi we considered as one state, right? Vi denotes small a1, first thing. So this is the terminal. So that will be the transition from Vi towards one intermediate state. So see here, we are having a transition from Vi on a1 towards the another state, right? Towards the another state. So this state we are considering it as an intermediate state, right? Again, we are having a A2 in the production rule, right? So from that intermediate state, specify the transition on A2 towards the another state, right? So that will be the intermediate state, right? So on, we are having AM. So some from some particular state, we are going to have a transition on VM, and it must end on the state VJ. So intermediate state, so last intermediate state which we considered, from that state on last terminal symbol am, there must be a transition that ends on the state vj, right? So let me consider one example here. V is denoting, let me say, a b a b something called x, right? So here assume that in this production V is a variable, small a, B are the terminals, and capital X is a variable, right? So this is the production. So how do we construct the states and transitions for such production rule? First consider V as a state, right? And V is denoting small a. So from V there must be a transition on small a. So like this towards some intermediate state. Okay. Next, again we are having a terminal symbol following A. That means from that intermediate state we must have a transition on B denotes, sorry, transition on B. So next after B we are having a non-terminal, right? So there the transition must end. So add the state X there, okay, X there, right? So in this way you can able to construct the states and transitions for the given production. Okay, so here uh, specify the transition from Vi on A1 by adding intermediate state. Okay, so that is the rule number 3 here. Next, for the production of the form Vi denotes A. So if any variable is denoting only a terminal symbol, then what you have to do is that just add Vi as a state. So consider mark Vi as a state, and from that state there must be a transition on A. There must be a transition on A, and it must end at some final state, right? So since we are not having any variable following A, so just we have to specify the transition towards the final state. That means you have to mark the intermediate state as a final state, right? So that is the rule number 4. So whenever we have a variable is denoting a terminal means you have to make the Vi as a state, and from that state make the transition towards a final state, right? So you have to mark the intermediate state as a final state in this rule 4. Okay. Rule 5. If we are having the production in this form Vi denotes epsilon, then in this case make the Vi state in M as a final state, right? So if we are having a production in the grammar Vi denotes epsilon, then mark that particular state in your automata as a final state. Okay. Next, the last point, rule number 6 is if any variable is denoting another variable, if one variable is denoting the another variable in a production rule, then in finite automata specify the epsilon transition from state Vi to Vj. Okay, so whenever we are having a production rule in which one variable is denoting the another variable, then in your finite automata specify the epsilon transition from Vi to Vj. Okay, Vi to Vj. So these are all the rules for constructing the finite automata from the given regular grammar. Okay, so these are the 6 steps that we generally follow to construct this finite automata. Okay, next we will discuss with one example here. So just try to do this problem. So problem is construct finite automata for the following grammar. So whenever a grammar is given, you have to check whether it is a regular grammar or not, right? And moreover, as far as such problem is concerned, uh, you have to consider that the regular grammar must be a right linear. Okay, so the grammar must be the right linear grammar, right? So just check out the productions. S denotes small a, capital A, or capital B. Capital A denotes small a, capital B. Capital B denotes small b, capital B, or small a, right? So all the productions are satisfying the right linear property that what we have discussed recently. So this grammar is regular grammar and it is right linear. So we can construct the finite automata, right? So what is the step number 1? The step number 1 is that identify the start symbol in your grammar. So what is the start symbol in your grammar? S. So make the S as a start state in your finite automata. So that is step number 1. So identify the start symbol in the grammar, which is nothing but S. So consider that S as a start state in your finite automata. Done. Next, consider each production, and for each production construct the states and transitions. Okay. Now see the production here. S denotes small a, capital A. So first we are taking the production S denotes small a, capital A. So it is in a form a terminal following a non-terminal. Then how do you uh, uh, specify the transition from this? So take the state S, and from A there must be a transition on state A. Okay, so that is step number 2. So in step number 2 we have specified the transition from S on terminal A towards the state capital A. Okay, since A is a variable, so that can be considered as a state. Okay, next take the another production. Here we are having S denotes capital B. So we are having the production, next production, S denotes capital B. So one variable is denoting another variable. So what you have to do, specify the epsilon transition from state S to state B. Specify the epsilon transition from state S to state S, state B, right? So that is the rule. Next one, take the another production, that is A denotes AAB, right? So A denotes AAB means there must be a transition on A from A, capital A, towards the intermediate state, and from that intermediate state there must be a transition on small a towards the state capital B. Okay, so you will get like something like this one. From state A there must be a transition on small a towards the intermediate state. From that intermediate state again there must be a transition on small a, and it must go to the state B. Okay, like this. So the states and transition for this production rule will be like this. So just add these states and transitions into the diagram. So from A, variable A, state A, on small a there is a transition towards intermediate state, and from that intermediate state on A there is a transition towards the state B. Okay, so this is the rule that we are following again. And next we are having the production B denotes small b capital B. B denotes small b capital B. So there must be a transition from B, state B. So consider the state B. We are having a transition on small b, and it must go to the small b itself. So it is nothing but a self transition. So self transition. Capital B on small b, self transition. So add that one. Okay. Capital B on small b, self transition, right? And last production is B denotes small a. So B denotes small a means one variable is denoting a terminal symbol. So now what you have to do is that from B you have to specify the transition on A, and it must end at final state. That means you have to add one final state. So B from state B on A, this transition must end at final state. Okay, like this. So here we have added the VF. So transition from B on small a go to the VF. VF means a variable F, final state variable. Okay, VF. So like this. So you can give any name for that intermediate states, and you can give the any name for the final state, right? So apart from that, the state must have the same name as the variables in the given regular grammar, right? So overall, how many variables we are having? S is one variable, A, capital A is one variable, and capital B is another variable, right? So three variables are there, right? So compulsory, you must have three states with these names S, A, B, and along with that, you may have some intermediate states and final states. Okay, so this is how we construct the finite automata, and this is the finite automata for the given regular grammar. Okay, I hope the concept is clear. This one. Next, try to construct the finite automata for this regular grammar. So S denotes small a, capital A, or epsilon. Capital A denotes small a, capital A, or small b, capital B, or epsilon. And next, capital B denotes small b, capital B, or epsilon. Okay. So for this regular grammar we have to construct the finite automata. So let me explain this procedure once again. So what is the start symbol in your grammar? Yes. So make the S as a starting state in your finite automata. Okay, finite automata, right? So this will be the starting state. Next, take the first production. S denotes small a, capital A. So small a capital means there must be a transition from S on small a, and it must to go to the A. Okay, right. Next, S denotes epsilon. So S denotes epsilon means we are applying that last rule in which the variable or the same state will become the final state. So what is the state here? Yes, so S will become the final state because S is denoting epsilon. Okay, so for S variable we have for S productions we have specified the states and transitions. Okay, next let us move towards the next variable. Capital A denotes small a capital A. So take the state A, there must be a transition on A and it must end at A only. So from A on small a, there is a self transition. Okay, there is a self transition. Okay, done. Next, capital A denotes small b capital B. Small b capital B. That means from A there must be a transition on B, small b, and it must go to the capital B. Okay, it must go to the capital B. Next, capital A denotes epsilon. So capital A denotes epsilon means make the A as a final state. Okay. Next, consider the next production. Capital B denotes small b capital B. So from B on small b, there is a self transition on B itself, and B denotes epsilon. So B denotes epsilon means it should be marked as a final state, right? So this is how we construct the finite automata from the regular grammar. To construct this finite automata, you must know those all six rules, okay, which we discussed right now. Next, construct finite automata for this regular grammar. Okay, so I think this is easy. So S denotes 0s or 1a or 1. Okay, capital A denotes 0a or 0s or 0 or 1. Okay, so here uh, first thing, S denotes 0s. So S will be the starting state in your grammar. S denotes 0s. From S on 0, it is going to have the self transition. Okay, 0. Next, S denotes 1a. So 1 means from S on A, it must go to the state A. Okay. Next, S on 1. So S on 1 means the variable is denoting a terminal. So in this case, what you have to do, you have to add one final state in this case. So let me say this is the final state. So VF means variable related to the final state. Okay, VF on 1, right? So we have completed all the production rules, and then we are moving towards the next production rule, that is A. Capital A denotes 0A. So capital A on 0, you are going to have the self transition, right? Done. Next, A denotes 0S. A denotes 0S means from A on 0 it must go to S. Okay. Next, A denotes 0. So one variable is denoting a terminal. So in this case, you have to specify the transition from A towards the final state, right? So already final state we have already added, right? So you can directly specify the transition from A towards that final state on 0. There is no need to add the final state again and again, right? So it will create duplicate, right? So you may add one final state again, but it is not going to affect the language, right, which is going to be accepted by this automata. So but however, the minimum number of states will be considered as the efficient way of constructing the finite automata, so that's why we are constructing the minimum states. Okay, and again, from A denotes 1. So again, you may have a transition from A uh, on 1 towards the final state. So like this. So A on 0 comma 1 goes to the final state, right? Otherwise, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 states. But here we are able to end up with the 3 states. Okay. So this is how we can construct the finite automata from the given regular grammar. Next. Second, here we are going to construct regular grammar from the finite automata. So here you are given the finite automata m is equal to q comma sigma comma delta comma q naught comma f, and from that finite automata m we must produce the regular grammar G is equal to VTPS, set of variables, terminals, production rules, and start symbol. Okay, so to convert the finite automata into the regular grammar, or to produce the regular grammar, we have to follow three steps. Okay, just observe. For each transition in finite automata of the form, that means from state qi, if there is a transition on some terminal small a towards the state qj, then we write the production rule in regular grammar as qi denotes a qj. Okay, I'm repeating once again. Suppose you are having a transition, state transition in a finite automata of this form, qi transition from state qi on A going to the state qj, then you have to write the production rule as qi denotes what is the terminal symbol, that means what is the symbol on which we are specifying the transition in finite automata A. So write that A. So qi denotes small a. What is the state that we are reaching from qi on A? Qj. So write that qj. Okay. So nothing but here we are applying the reverse process. Okay. So this is the how we can write the production rule for each transition. Okay. Next, for any final state of M, so if you are having any final state, you have to add one epsilon production. That is QF denotes epsilon. So let me consider here QF is a final state in your automata. For that particular final state, you have to add one production rule in the grammar, that is QF denotes epsilon. So whenever you have a final state, for each final state, you have to write a epsilon production. Okay. And last one, start state of M will be the start symbol of your grammar. So whatever may be the start state in a finite automata, that start state will become the start symbol of the grammar. Okay. So these are the three rules. Okay. So from these three rules, we can able to write the regular grammar from the given finite automata. Okay. So let us discuss one problem. So construct regular grammar for the given finite automaton. So this is the given finite automata, right? So you have to take each state, and from each state you have to try to write down the production, right? So what is the starting state in the finite automata? Q naught. So Q naught will become your start symbol of the grammar, right? So the production rule must start with the Q naught. Okay. So now identify the transitions from Q naught and write the rule. So first transition Q naught on A, it is going to Q1. So how do you write the rule? Q naught denotes AQ1. Q naught denotes AQ1. So we are not having any other transitions from Q naught. So next go to the state Q1. So Q1 is having the transitions on small b and small a. So how do we write? Q1 on b, it is going to Q1 only. So how do we write? Q1 denotes BQ1. Q1 denotes BQ1. Next we are having a transition from Q1 on a towards Q2. So how do you write? Q1 denotes AQ2. So Q1 denotes AQ2. Okay. Next Q2. Q2 on B, it is going to Q3. So write down the production rule as Q2 denotes BQ3. Okay, Q2 denotes BQ3. Okay. Next, from Q3, first thing, it is a final state. Q3 is a final state. So write down Q3 denotes epsilon. That is that rule. So whenever we have a final state, we have to write the production rule as uh, final state denoting the epsilon. So what is the final state? Q3. So Q3 must denote epsilon. Okay. And next, there is a transition from Q3 on epsilon towards Q1, right? So how do you write? Q3 denotes epsilon Q1. Epsilon means empty. So it will simply becomes Q3 denotes Q1. So Q3 denotes Q1. Okay. So these are all will become the set of production rules, right? So now we have to define the regular grammar in four tuple notation, right? So what will be your V? V is nothing but set of variables. What are the variables? These states are the variables. Those are nothing but Q0, comma Q1, comma Q2, comma Q3. These are all the V. What are T? T is nothing but set of terminals. What are the terminals that we are having? Small a, small b. So T is equal to set of small a, comma small b. P, these are all the production rules. P is equal to set of production rules. And yes, what is the start symbol of your grammar? S is equal to Q0. So Q naught is the start symbol of your grammar. Okay. So this is how you have to write the regular grammar for the given finite automata. Okay. Next. Now construct the regular grammar for this given finite automata. Construct the regular grammar for this given finite automata. So here we are having four states Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. So capital V will become Q0, comma Q1, comma Q2, comma Q3, right? And next terminals, what are the symbols or transitions that you could see here? 0, 1. So T will become 0, comma 1. Okay. Now what is the starting state? Q0 is the starting state. So that will become your S. Start state of the finite automata will become start state, sorry, start symbol of your grammar. Okay. Next, let us write down the production rule. So what is the start symbol? uh, q naught, right? So q naught, write down the production from q naught. So q naught on 0, it is going to q1. How do you write? Q naught denotes 0 q1, 0 q1. Next, there is a transition from q naught on 1 towards q2. How do you write? Q naught denotes 1 q2. Okay. Next, go to the state q1. So q1 on 1, it is going to q naught. So q1 1, sorry, q1 denotes 1 q naught. q1 denotes 1 q naught. Okay. Next, q1 on 0, it is going to q3. So q1 denotes 0 q3. Okay. Next, q2. q2 on 0, it is going to q naught. So write down q2 denotes 0 q naught. Okay. Next, q2 on 1, it is going to q3. So write down q2 denotes 1 q3. Next, q3, it is having self transition on 0 and 1. So write down the two rules as q3 denotes 0 q3, q3 denotes 1 q3. Okay. And what is the final state? Q0 is the final state. So add the epsilon production for that particular state in the grammar. So q0 denotes epsilon. So q0 denotes epsilon. So these all will become your production rules. Okay. So this is how we can construct the regular grammar from the given finite automata, right? So in today's session we discussed about converting this regular grammar into finite automata and constructing the regular grammar from the given finite automata, right? So these are the concepts which we have seen in this today's session. In the next session we discuss how to construct the regular expression from the given regular grammar. Okay. So thank you for attending this session.